And the winner of the Bert Sutcliffe Medal for 2020 is Ian Smith. Widely respected as one of the best cricket commentators in the world, Ian has been the voice of cricket since swapping the wicket-keeping gloves for the commentary microphone in the early 90s. Not only has he called all 112 home tests since 1992-93, he's also called many of our biggest moments, including Grant Elliott's 6 to win the 2015 World Cup semi-final against South Africa. Last year's World Cup semi-final win over India and the subsequent Super Over final against England.
7 weeks of cricket, 48 games, 1 ball, here's Bolt. They're going to push. Are we in for a Super Over? They've got to go quick, they've got to go quick. Out, I'm sure he's out. We're going to a Super Over.
Having made his international debut in 1980, Ian went on to become a highly regarded member of the very successful 1980s New Zealand side, playing 63 tests and 98 ODIs. In addition, he worked the Basin Reserve scoreboard as a Wellington schoolboy, and in 1979 was a reserve fieldsman during the very first ever test played in Napier, meaning a total of about 45 years direct involvement with the international game.
Right then, here we go. 6:21 for 6, and Brendan McCullum is on 298. He works it to the gap, he's got it! Magnificent! New Zealand have a superstar, a little cricketing master. Hasn't been an easy test match for wicket-keepers, but DJ Watling made that very difficult catch look pretty easy. It's commentary change, isn't it?
Yeah.
To present the award on behalf of New Zealand Cricket, Board Chairman Greg Barclay.
Smithy, Bert Sutcliffe Medal, sincere congratulations, well done. You've had 2 careers, one as a player and now one as a highly regarded professional commentator. What did you actually enjoy the most, Smithy, playing or calling the game?
Well, I enjoyed every bit of everything I did with cricket, Greg, actually, because I had no idea when I was playing I was going to be a commentator, so I thought that part of it would be probably the end of it. So I enjoyed a lot of those times. I played cricket with some great players of New Zealand cricket history, and through a really successful era. And people often would say to me, "Gee, don't you wish you were playing now, because all the IPL money and pay rates have gone up, etc. And life seems to be pretty good if you can play the game well." I think about it, and sure, there would be that side of it, but I wouldn't trade those times, those many victories with those players, the times keeping to Sir Richard Hadlee, the times watching Martin Crowe bat sides into submission, and all the other guys playing their part as well. So the playing aspect of it was the realisation of a dream, I guess. And it went a long time. I think 13 odd years of wearing the fern and being joined by a great bunch of guys along the way, and the quality of opposition too, who have always been fantastic and very easy to mix with. It was a great time to play, really great.
Yeah, well, you've called 112 tests at home. You played 32 tests at home. That's pretty much 2/3 of all New Zealand home tests that you've been involved in. I mean, that's a phenomenal record. You've sort of alluded to it already, but how much change have you seen through that period in the international game?
Well, I think there's more cricket played, obviously through the demands of television and public interest. So players are busier. Of course, T20 wasn't even a dream. It was not even thought of. I mean, people thought when I played 50 over cricket, it was racy. It was the upmarket version with the coloured gear, the black sight screens, the white ball, and heck, we could play at night as well. I mean, goodness me. So no one ever thought about T20 cricket, and of course that's been the biggest, I guess, revolution, if you like, since I've been calling cricket. I wouldn't say it's my favourite brand of cricket to call, but I'm warming to it because you just have to. I've always been a bit of a purist. I've loved every minute of calling Test cricket. Those numbers, of course, there's some overseas as well, but those numbers are just fantastic in terms of the memories that they bring with them. Some wonderful test performances from good teams, but wonderful individual performances as well. And I mean, Brendan's 300 will live forever in my mind. Being able to call that moment, test wins at Lords, test win at Hobart. Ross Taylor's 290. There's so many of them. The draw at the draw, of course, at Eden Park with so much drama against England, and then of course the World Cup final last year. So I've had my moments. I've been Johnny on the spot, and my voice, I suppose, will be on those highlight reels forever and a day, because of good timing, I guess, but also some really good cricket by New Zealand sides over the years.
You've been a commentator for a long time, Smithy. Who did you take your earlier pointers from, and who do you regard as the best in the business? Bearing in mind, of course, that you're up there with them now as well.
I listened to a lot of cricket on the radio on the beach when I was growing up. Shortwave radio from Australia, so McGilvray and Hassett, a lot of people won't even know who they are, but they were fantastic. John Arlott, Brian Johnson, when New Zealand were on tour overseas. So that was fantastic. And then when it came to television, I worked with TVNZ to begin with, and NISPO, who I've ended up calling Brazilian rugby as well. Morrison, Glenn Turner, those guys who welcomed me into the fold and helped me along the way. And then, of course, I got to commentate overseas, and that's when I met Richie Benaud. I spent 6 summers in England with him, working over there, and I guess I'd have to say he was my mentor without him actually knowing it. I watched pretty much everything he did throughout a day's cricket. I listened to pretty much everything he said. His economy of words was so much better than anyone else's. His descriptions were beautiful but simple. And I'd like to say, I mean, he's long gone now, and that is was one of the saddest days of my life, because he became a good friend and probably one of the nicest men I've ever met. So I would say Benaud, but the new breed are fantastic. I worked with Laurie, of course, Bill Laurie, you couldn't get more different than Richie Benaud. Greg, I mean, Channel 9 was an iconic team to grow up with and to be part of. And then, of course, I worked with today's group, culminating in the World Cup last year with Hussain and Bishop and Atherton and all those guys, and we've built up a really good team in New Zealand with Dooley and Scotty Rigger, Craig Cumming, all the guys that I've worked with throughout that time as our core group. They all teach you something every day, Greg. Commentary is not something I think you've ever fully learned, because as we see with cricket, something strange happens more often than not.
In the book, you talk with sincerity and warmth of the players that you played with. Just how important to you were those players? Were your teammates?
Well, when you're away, particularly in places like India and Pakistan back in the early 80s, etc., they were everything. They were a door to knock on. A homesick experience to share with. They were, we didn't win a lot for a while there, and so people to share a disappointment with, and every now and then when we won, like we beat India and Bombay, as it was back there, a group of guys that you can enjoy with. We won at Headingley for the first time in England, then we won at the Gabba. So they're important, and my memories of those wins are about the people that I played with, and those teams that I played with. I often think about incidents in the match, which lead me to think about the people that played in it. So they were huge. They were huge. I would like to think that all the guys, I haven't stayed in touch with all of them. My job takes me to cricket grounds, but it doesn't take into people's homes or give me that opportunity. I would like to think that all the guys I played with over that long period of time, I could still have a beer with, have a great chat about the old times and talk about today as well. And that would be one of the greatest things that I've got out of it, is cricket mates and experience of being on tour with guys and putting up with stuff and enjoying the other stuff.
I'm interested, Smithy, just in hearing what this award means to you. It's one of the two probably most prestigious awards given in New Zealand cricket on an annual basis. So, the Bert Sutcliffe, what does that mean to you?
Well, on top of New Zealand cricket also granting me life membership, it's been a wonderful 2 years. I'm so grateful. It makes me quite emotional actually to think about joining the list of people that have already won this award, Greg. I dedicate it to my wife Louise. Anyone that's played or been involved with touring and cricket will know that you've got to have a base. Louise has been fantastic the whole time and brought up three great sons, Jared, Jake and Angus as well, to the adult stage where we can still enjoy it from my commentary point of view. But they're the base. The other guys I would want to obviously thank are my teammates over the years throughout my playing career. We've mentioned them already, but they made it all possible to have the success that I had. And lastly, the people I've worked with, and in particular, the people over the last 2 decades at Sky Television here in New Zealand who have provided cricket coverage, and I was part of it from day one right to the very end. And I'll never forget the friends that I've made throughout there and the hard work that they put in to bring cricket to people in New Zealand. And so I dedicate it to those three groups of people in particular. So I thank New Zealand cricket, I thank the board, I thank yourself, Whitey, all those people that have helped me along the way, because it is communication industry and communication needs various forms, and it's usually at least a two-way thing. So I'd like to think I leave New Zealand cricket from a commentary point of view in New Zealand with good friendships, and I know I've got good experiences, but good mates, good friendships, and people that I can pop around to the odd ground with in years to come and perhaps have a drink on New Zealand cricket, eh?
Yeah, for sure. Oh, well, look, Ian, congratulations again. I mean, you and I could chat away like this all afternoon, particularly if we had some of the sponsors' product, which unfortunately we can't today. But look, on behalf of everyone in the wider cricket family, thanks for being such a great contributor to the game. You know, as I said, it's a wonderful achievement, your contribution. You should be very, very proud of it. I think thanks also for always being true to yourself too. You're a special figure in cricket. You know, you're esteemed through the game. So again, congratulations. Thanks, Navi.
Greg, thank you very much for those words. And hey, mate, I wouldn't have traded it for a second. It's been brilliant.